Welcome back to opinionsaretefree.com. It's Friday, the 27th of March, and it's a casual Friday, which is why I'm just wearing a damn t-shirt. And I want to talk to you about this whole conflict in the Middle East. Do you think it's going to end soon? I don't think it's going to end soon. I don't think it's going to end for quite a while because there's still too much profit to be made from this whole thing. Now, you're thinking, wait a second, profit? I mean, things are being blown up. Yes, but everything that has to be blown up has to be replaced. Someone has to replace it. Someone has to spend money. Someone has to take money from other people to make it, either in the way of credit, which is a loan, or in the way of stripping your assets in order to make sure there's money there to provide the services you need. You know, the world has changed a lot in the last 20 years. Now, who's making the money from this? Let's think about this now. The last, 10, 20, 30 years, you've been pushed towards doing your own investments because, you have to be in control of your own money, right? That's the narrative, right? Keep in mind that every single time you make a transaction, when you're buying a stock, when you're selling a stock, when you're selling an option, when you're doing something, you are paying a transaction fee. So the banks make a tremendous amount of money, not only on the profit from, let's say, loaning out money and making the difference on the interest differential, but also on those transaction fees. It's incredible how many transactions occur every single day. And we haven't even gotten into the digital realm yet, where now if your money is going to be digital, and every time you spend a buck, whatever you want to call it, you're going to be charged a fee. Someone has to make the money. So you see how that's going. But every time there's a transaction, someone's making a fee. So ultimately, the market goes up, the market goes down. So Trump says something, market goes up. Oh, let's buy this stuff. It'll go up. It's going to get better. Oh, 2 days later, something happens. Market goes down. We better sell to preserve our money. We can't make any money. At least we can cut back on our losses. And that's just a form of risk mitigation. You want to cut back your losses and take your lumps, and then things go down. Hey, let's buy at the bottom. It's going to go up again. Another transaction fee, and you can be fee to death. So that's part of it. And then there's also the issue with inflation. Inflation is going to go up. While inflation actually is very lucrative for people who are giving out loans because they get more interest back, right? So again, who is controlling the money? Then you've got to look at private credit as well. I guess there's a lot of euphoria around projects that perhaps are not, putting out the returns that they were supposed to put out, like AI and whatnot. The costs are so heavy up front, and some of these companies that are putting a lot of money into the project are basically going to fall on their faces. And then the second and third tier companies are the ones that are going to survive. And that's the same thing that happened with the dot-coms, wasn't it? So those who are giving money have to figure out a way to get more returns or to not lose money. And then generally the way is to have higher interest rates, and the inflation helps that. So the question is the inflation causing the higher interest rates, or is inflation a result of needing higher interest rates in order to be able to pay back loans? You can figure out, do what you want to do and believe what you want to believe. And there's another question. Do the Democrats want Trump to get out of this alive? And I say alive, and I mean politically. I'm not talking about health, right? Okay, let's not go there. Do the Europeans want Trump to survive the midterms? I don't think so. So why would they help, find a solution to this issue if in the long run they would prefer to have him gone so they can push for the national little globalist bubble, which is probably where they want to go. If you look at some of the policies in Europe, we have one country looking at taxing unrealized capital gains. Horrible, horrible. We have England strangling its own fuel production supplies, chasing their little green myth, the zero carbon myth, and I'm not trying to get onto that topic right now, although I have to ask whether or not that's just part of a long-term plan. You don't want cheap oil if it's going to mean people will use the oil. You'd rather strangle it and blame it on Trump or blame it on someone else and then pursue that agenda. The Middle East, things go boom, they blow up. It's unfortunate. They have to be rebuilt, but they're going to be rebuilt not by their own dollars, but by the cost, or rather the profits from selling the oil at a higher price when things calm down. And then they have facilities that are being rebuilt, and the facilities are new and shiny. So you don't have to worrying about depreciation, worrying about repairs of older facilities if they've been taken care of, for you. You just rebuild anew, right? And then that is written off and paid for by the profits. So oil even if the situation does calm down in 6 months, 7 months, a year, is going to stay high for a while because they have to figure out how to make back all the money to pay for all the facilities to deal with all the issues. And countries like India are not going to be rebuilding or building on, on wind and solar power. They're not going to. They need cheap, or at least affordable fuel sources, and that means carbon is going to stay with us for a while. Anyways, listen, that's just an opinion, okay? I don't think this is going to end anytime soon because there are too many pressures behind it wanting to push it forward and to make this situation go on further in order to find new ways to profit from it, either from higher oil or from depreciation and using the higher prices to get rid of things that have to be replaced anyways, or strangling the oil supply so they can push their projects forward. And then also, if you look at what it's doing with inflation, is how it's hurting people. The question is then, are people going to go into their assets? And is this going to push for the further monetization of assets that right now are not being monetized, like your home equity? So that has to be drawn out and used to survive and then pushed into the market, the asset market, which will then be basically eroded to the point where you have nothing left and you have no choice but to say, fine, I'll accept your government monthly paycheck on UBI, and I'll do whatever you want me to do because I don't have any money left. There are a number of things to work here. Anyways, opinionsarefree.com. I would love to hear your opinion. You don't have to leave your last name. Just tell me where you're from, because I like to know if you're from a particular province, particular state, particular country, and how you feel about some of these issues. Is this conflict going to be stretched out and pushed, and to whose benefit? We hope that it ends soon, because it does mean that lives are being lost. And as usual, it's the people on the bottom who suffer when the people on top need to figure out a way to make some more money. Again, that's just my opinion, all right? Opinionsarefree.com. Like this page. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Please consider sending me a topic on whatever you want, and we'll see if we can fit it in. Have a great day, and take care. Bye.